Mhm. Heyo Friendos, and welcome to Fairy Parahuman slash Worm with your host, Berry Goldheart. This is episode 9. Actually, episode number 9, but we're talking about chapter 9. This is a very short one, but it's also really interesting. We're talking about the wards. It's a whole chapter dedicated to the wards. We're going to go through it. There's a little bit of overlap with 8 and a tiny bit of like touching on to 10 in this one. So there's fair warning on those parts. We're going to get into it, friendos. We're going to have a great time. I'm very happy you are here. If you have any comments you want to apply of your own, this is definitely a lot that we missed here or didn't go on. A lot to talk about. Please leave them in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to keep you updated on everything. Well, okay, I'm gonna let y'all get into the episode. As Fallen from Glory and I, we're still in the conversation. Right? This is a whole long thing, a brand new thing we're trying out. So let's get into it. Let's have a great time. I'll see you in there, friendos. Have fun. Yeah, do woo, hello, let's go. Whoa.
And the wards show up and they
Say
think that he has something to do with it. He's like, nah, I really don't. And besides that, we have way bigger problems to worry about. And they try to arrest him anyway, and he just styles on them. That's the best way to put it. Ugh, God, what a nightmare.
Okay.
It's like every time they try to attack him, one of their own allies ends up
Yeah.
in the path of that attack. And
Oh God,
what are you even
it's
supposed
so
to
fun.
do?
So,
So mean.
right? Like what? How are you supposed to deal with that? And the answer is you need to shut him down. But how? Where do you aim? What do you do? This is where you need someone who's a veteran of intense, high risk combat, like a jet fighter pilot or anyone like that. Yes, they're the ones with the right skill set needed to handle this. None of those guys have it, which is kind of interesting because, like, if anyone in the wards would have had that skill by now, it'd have been Vista, and she doesn't quite have it. Woof. Even know. But yeah. So before, well, not before, because that is really how that fight goes, and that's the gist of it. Is yeah, the wards come in, think they're hot shit, see this criminal stuff, say, hey, you guys did this. Like, nah, we didn't. And then, they have a fight anyway. And, he's literally going, okay, well, you can switch places with that dead body who's hung up there. I don't care. Fuck y'all. I gave you the shot to, like, walk away or, share some information or whatever, but you said no. Fuck you. And, yeah, his crew was so welcoming to them, and the wards were like, nah, eat shit and die. And he was like, how about you shut up? Yeah.
Oh man, God, that's one of my favorite fight scenes, by the way, just because I'm just like, even in my head, I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
even
Like
if
I can see
Vis-
like
even if Vista had,
you like
even
the
if Vista
Dan
had
to
all the
Dan
skills in the
music where
world,
it's like it just feels like that. Like it's just and bam 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 and he's just, like dunking on him, It's so good. I don't know the people are involved in
yeah.
the fight and
So
there's so much else going on, but it's like they're an extension of him in this fight, and it's really fun. I loved it.
mhm,
It was so good.
yeah.
He
So
trounced
essentially,
on him. Like,
for
they were like crabs in a bucket, and
um,
he had a shotgun. Bam, like, they're dealing with this. They're
yeah, it's like
traumatized in that fight, by the way.
yeah, like he could be dealt with, but you need to have the right power, and none of them had the right power, not even close. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I think he sucked up
for
Weld's
those, yeah,
face in the middle of the fight, too. Like, just, yeah,
yeah. Yes. There's so the way Trickster's power works is if he can sense usually through sight, but also through things like touch or whatever. Two objects of a roughly similar mass, he can swap their locations instantaneously. And this effect has no cooldown. So, assuming he's trained with it enough, he can swap himself with fucking whatever he
It's
wants
so
to
good.
over and over and over and over again, very, 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 very quickly. And as long as he's like not getting sick, from all the movement, like
Oh yeah. And like
what are you gonna
people of
what are you really gonna
equatable
do?
size and mass, you can do too. Like you can move your allies around, switch them with enemies, whatever. Oh,
Yep.
you got two people about to punch him. He can just switch with one of those guys, and then you two are hitting each other. You know what? Whatever. Like
The
he
fact
was having a
that
great blast
it
there,
works,
just wrecking them after they said, "Fuck yeah."
yeah, the fact that it works on inanimate objects and on people is not normal. And as soon as you see what happens when a manton limit is removed, it gets like it takes the power from being like a problem to being impossible, right? I mean, just the one character we know
Yeah.
for sure had their manton had a something happen where their manton limit got removed is Narwhal, right? And we know that Narwhal is a power. Lets her make a bunch of
Yeah.
force
And
fields,
she was
and the fact that her manton limit
taking
removes
it to
is lets Enchantress
Leviathan.
got removed.
Like, wow.
Yeah, it lets her summon because she has no manton limit anymore. She can create force fields inside of people. What? How do you stop that? Right? Like it's cracked, and that's essentially
Right.
what
That's like the gimp
dealing with
gun,
trickster is like.
teleporter. Poof.
Yeah, any weapon you pull out
Yeah,
against him is his
it's
weapon. Any attack you send his way is his attack, right? It's the as long as he's fast enough,
and
which
any
he
piece of
clearly
the
is.
environment is his weapon. You know,
Hmm.
like
It's
yo, there's a
it's
guard railing here. That's a weapon he can use.
uh,
Yeah, Ah, it's
yeah.
wild. It's like a
It's
drunken
just like
master with no limit on distance. It's so wild.
yeah. I'm being a normal soldier against this guy. It does like the more of you there are, the worse it gets, right? Because like he could pick up a rock, right, and just switch it
But
with one of your grenades. Pull the pin, switch that with another grenade on someone else. Pull the pin, switch that with another grenade.
and
Pull it, and just
there's
keep
there's
doing
another
that however many
interesting
times you want.
aspect to his stuff. He can directionalize you at least a bit, you know? So if you
Mhm.
have like two lines of soldiers, right? You can just turn one line to face the other direction. And that's all it takes. And he can do more than that.
Mhm.
So,
It's just,
woof, that's a rough
oh,
one.
dude, it's like you need to bring in a specialist to do something about that because Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you need someone who's
um,
been through such chaotic, crazy, life-threatening situations and over and over and over again, in order to handle someone like this guy. Like, woof.
yeah, or someone who just has like
Good luck getting that
exactly
with
the right power.
young people who are being trained up team. Like, that's not gonna work. You just said the Boy Scouts after him. It's not working. You're not taking
Yeah,
out, you know, like this guy with Boy Scouts. It's not gonna work. Woof.
yeah, it's kind of
It's
reminiscent of like the
all
bank
right,
fight,
I want to talk a
right?
bit about
Where
this chapter. Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Holy shit. It's not
these
prepared.
poor
Holy
wards
fuck.
keep getting sent
Oh
after
yeah.
people way above their pay grade.
Yeah. They don't catch a break.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
poor bastards.
Ralph came in here
Yeah,
thinking like, we're gonna deal with these merchant guys, and it's gonna be fine. And then he got roundhouse kicked by his own mouth, by the way, because he could have just said, "Oh, we'll let you go this time if you can tell us what you know about this." Could have done
hmm.
that, but it's like, nah, gotta catch them all. And I'm sorry, guys, you're not playing Pokemon. This is Shin Megami Tensei. What?
Yeah. All right, so you want to talk about a chapter?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk about the chapter more as a chapter, but we had just on on him because he's just so good. this. I
Yeah.
personally think this arc was multi-purpose. While it sets up the wards, etc., all that other stuff, I believe it was designed as the way to introduce the backup protagonist in the event that Taylor died. So, that's what I think this chapter was. So, yeah. So, there's a few people here I think could have been the air quotes backup protagonist. And must. My thoughts go to 3 specific characters in here. So, the 3 I'm looking at as the most likely to be backup protagonists out of the characters who we really get more view on here is number 1, Weld, because he's put into a position that's so far beyond him and his scope. And he has to learn the city and these people basically coming from a different view. So that could be really interesting to play with and deal with. You know, there's a lot to that, a lot of fun. And he screws up so much on his first date where he's already in a similar boat to like Taylor of being like hated by everybody and stuff, but he's trying to get through it and everything. And some people are trying to give him legit advice, but will he take it and stuff there? So I think we might have had a more complicated version of events if he were the new protagonist. So there's that. Flechette is another one who's on my list of possibilities. Yeah, she dealt through the Leviathan encounter. And then she's here now, and, you know, we see her interact immediately with Shadowstalker and how that goes down. And then she says, fuck this, I need someone I can talk to. Yo, kid dipshit, give me the directions to Parian. And she goes over to Parian.
Kid dipshit.
And it's a really complicated, interesting scenario where we get, yeah, right. And we get all this stuff about how the situation is on a more normal person level, where you're not a villain, you're not a hero. What is everyone else in the middle dealing with? You know, and it's like, if you have any semblance of power, like, you are the guardian protector or a outreaching villain towards other people. So we get these really interesting roles there. And I think Flechette was either the way to be the new protagonist and showcase his opinions, or to get us to the new protagonist. I don't think Parian was an option for being the new protagonist, but she would have been a fun pick, you know, personally. I think so, with everything she's going through, the fact she was a road, and then she's stuck being a hero to these people here, which might lead her to fighting the heroes and being labeled a villain and stuff. There's a lot that could be done with that, and ways to connect into the story. So those 2 are really fun. And the third one was the recruit who we see, you know, that Kid Win goes to pick up. So that's the third one I see as like a real option there. I say third because I don't know if Parian's really an option, but it would make a great one. So I guess those 4 people are the ones I see as either Weld, Flechette, Parian, or the air quotes new recruit to potentially become a ward. And those, I think, are the characters who are being set up as our potential new protagonist. Yes, Chariot.
I forgot about that guy.
His Chariot's positioning is really unique, and they're set up in such a way where, you know, at first it's like, yo. Also, I really love this arc for Kid Win. I think this is where I actually show some respect for him as a character. Is reading through this one. Because we see he knows he's been through all the bullshit. He knows what people think his power set is and what he's believed it was for so long. But now he's starting to believe that's not it at all. Or he's been advertised that way, of like, you know, guns and stuff like that is his thing. He's totally focused on that. But he's starting to doubt that and go, or maybe I've just been going up the wrong branch and this isn't my direction. And they mentioned the other person. They say, okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to talk to him. And he does the whole recruit thing. And he actually feels that something's off. Like all this work he's been doing out in the streets and fighting and helping this clock blocker get home and all this other stuff has really done work on him, right? He's truly actually made it better as a hero. He has some fucking awareness and he's able to actualize it. And he investigates what's going on with the kid after meeting with him to see what happens afterwards and learns that he's connected to someone else and there's this other thing going on to trying to get in there. And from that, he's able to bring this information home and there's, like, oh, there might be like plants and stuff in our own base of operations and things. We need to be careful and figure things out and there's all this stuff there and, makes his team aware of the situation that's going on and what he's figured out and what else it could mean and all this stuff. Like, he's actually becoming a hero and you can see it and I love it. It's great. Finally the kid wins slander can stop because he's starting to to think about himself and realize that he's a fuck up and try to do something about it. And it actually works. He's moving in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Do you think that bit about him discovering a possible plant inside of his organization might come up again in the near future? And I think that might have further reaching implications.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Coil and Coil's guys. Like 100% in this stuff. It's just... So I'm sure that will be utilized in fun ways.
Yeah. I mean, because at this point, like, the ABB is gone, the Empire is, like, pretty much gone, the merchants are pretty fucking incompetent, so that pretty much just leaves Coil at this point. Like, there's not really many other people it could be now. If we had said something at the beginning of the story,
the merchants are incompetent, but they're everywhere.
Yeah, no, their skill set lies somewhere completely different. But yeah, at the start of the story, it might have been more of a discussion.
Oh yeah, it's so fun.
But yeah, I think it's pretty clear it's probably Coil.
Yeah, it's definitely Coil and his guys, or someone of the other peoples introduced here are much further reaching on how they're successful than we thought. But I doubt that. This other organization that we're introduced to here, I'll talk about them more later, but they remind me of certain people I know, IRL, and that's why I don't think they're the ones behind it. I'm pretty sure it's Coil and his group. But anyways, let's get back to this arc then, I guess. There's a bit more things I want to stay.
Yes.
Yeah, Weld is pretty neat. Root/Changer fuses metal into his body, all this other stuff. He's got things going there. There's something interesting about him. He's annoyed at being called son, even though he doesn't know his ethnicity, apparently. Like, he either doesn't know it or doesn't know it well enough to be connected to it. So for anyone unaware, whites often call blacks son as a matter of disrespect, especially in the South. So, there are plenty of people who use son just to talk to anyone younger than them, but there is that. So it's possible that he's saying people use it as a term of lowering him down instead of referring to him as a person. They see him in an inhuman manner. So that's interesting and worth noting. Yay! I love that Flechette is here, and that her old team and Weld's old team used to have sparring matches once a year, so they actually learned how to deal with people with different powers instead of just what was in their city, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of information in this chapter for digit lovers who are like, yes, numbers, and the power scalers. They all get their numbers that they've been craving. Clock Blocker, Striker 7, Vista, Shaker 9, Shadowstalker, Breaker 3 with sublabel Stranger 2, Mover 1, Kid Win, Tinker 4. So they can all splooge over the numbers all they want. But You know, they're here. There's information. Whoa. We get
Yeah,
information
it does kind of.
on Zillion group development and to general infrastructure breakdown. Pretty cool. There, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah, I was just saying it
numbers.
does kind of reinforce this sort of like um, this idea that the hero team has like a very strict playbook with like categorizations and numbers that they stick to, um, which helps them most of the
Yeah.
time, but sometimes it really it screws it over. But we covered that bit already. But this is kind of just a hey, this is our first look at the internal like structure of it. It's been kind of alluded to um, a lot up to this point, but we get to actually see it from their perspective here. So I find that interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we also get the stupidest rhyme thing ever, which it's definitely like a rhyme you'd be taught in school about, like, you know, shaker, stranger, and Trump,
Oh
you know, that one that
yeah,
Will knows. Yeah, ugh, it's so dumb. I don't even have it written down in my notes. I was like, it's so fucking dumb, but it does have all the names. It feels very like this is a school thing they'd make you sing, you know. Yeah, feels realistic.
yeah. I
Yeah.
remember
Oh,
the
right.
mover, shaker, brute, and breaker
Yeah.
because that one
Yeah, yeah.
those like itch a
It,
part in the back of my brain. That's the part I remember.
yeah. It's so silly. Ay, ay, ay. Right. Moving forward, the other really big piece of information we get here is all up front in that first little bit as well, is information on villain group development and their general infrastructure breakdown, which I'll just go by one by one real quick here. So, the Coil, the Travelers, and the Undersiders are basically afterthoughts to the heroes. You know, Fault Line's crew, the only thing mentioned about is that they have a Shaker 12. Like, nothing else about these groups seems to matter or care towards the heroes. They don't really give an F. And I think it's because Fault Line's crew handles stuff outside the city normally, so they're not really a problem. And the others, they just don't realize the implications of what they're actually capable of. Yeah. But with the other groups in here, like the merchants, those guys, they got big notes on. So the merchants have sort of become more defined as the Archer's Bay merchants. They have a more filled name there. And they've moved their expanding forces, which are growing and growing, into the buildings where the heroes defended the city. And that has begun to evolve them as a group. You know, at an official level, they're more about societal upheaval and all of that. So they've basically turned into this terrorist political organization, like all those Halal tribes in the Middle East, like Hezbollah and all of them. You know, and that's sort of how they've taken on their share. And they're probably acting more like, let's see, specifically like Islamist regimes where like those on the top and like in power and stuff there do a bunch of horrible stuff and really hoard up wealth and riches for themselves and those who are their attack dogs. Whereas everyone else in the group is sort of like they're in the backside, but just not directly attacked as long as you're following all the shit that they're saying, you know? So they really had those sorts of vibes with the way they're described by the people, especially since it seems like they, you know, they're taking people who are upset at like, yo, they protected these hobos, but not my nice fancy house, and now I've lost everything. Of course, I'm going to go with these guys who are reclaiming the city instead of these people who want to acknowledge the fact that I had a $2 million asset of a high rise, which is now gone. You know? So, what do you mean the bank won't reimburse me? I'm broke? No, I ain't being a hobo. I'm going with these guys. You know, it seems to be the case. We also know more about how the areas Leviathan wasn't directly attacking were affected worse because the tidal waves weren't really fought back until Eidolon was sent away. You know, and all that. So, yeah, everyone was too focused on where he was as opposed to where he wasn't. So there's a big problem with the tidal waves there. And that's how the merchants got all their people. So, pretty cool. The other big groups that are mentioned are Fenrir's Chosen, which mean Hookwolf has his own freaking, fetishist group now. It's like official. They're their own, gang, their own thing. His numbers are Shaper 4, Brute 7, and his homicide list is huge. Like, it's ridiculous. Look, Whitey's homicide list is huge, bro. Like, he cannot get rid of a corpse for the life of him. He's a fucking chomp ass at getting away with shit. He always getting caught, always leaving things around to be noticed. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, because he just does not care. They're not even doing it to make a note or a point. It's just, anyways, moving on. Then you had the Pure, which is Purity's racist group. And she's trying to make deals to air quotes help, end air quotes. But no one's accepting her deals. Good, because fuck her. Anyway, her number is Blaster 8, Mover 4. She has a Breaker 9, Shifter 8 with Stranger 3. And she has a Master 6. So that's all the numbers and the big groups of stuff that are officiated and known to be there when Weld arrives. Another group does show up, and that's important, yes. Oh, the other big important part that we got from this was America's multi-phase plan for dealing with parahumans. Early phases were setting up the protectorate in the wards, making them marketable while laws were being developed. And the next phase is push people beyond the comfort zone by actually enabling rogues. And they're just entering in that second phase. So it's really interesting, like, before the second phase was starting up, we saw a rogue go to prison who was a master, into the worst prison possible, just for being a master and, a free-range rogue. So maybe now, with them moving forward in this direction, like, the laws and stuff might start changing and being different. But that might also create different catalyst moments politically for change and all this other stuff. So there's a lot that can be said about that and what that might lead into. And I think the story around what's happening in the city, like the things on the more meta level, are going to be really fun and interesting to look at and see what they're implying and saying about culture as a whole. Yay! Should I mention the next group? I should mention the next group. Okay. Wait, actually, before I do anything else, Fallen, yeah, you got anything to add to that stuff?
Not particular. The Ward's arc is kind of like in case you forgot, I completely forgot it was even here. Very little of it stuck in my memory. There, except for a couple of things like Trickster's fight scene. I remembered that. I forgot that it was in this arc. But most of the other details are just kind of like, yeah, it's the kid heroes. We got to see how they're doing. It's okay, I guess. Primarily, there are things in there that are important that come up later, but yeah, I don't remember much, to be honest. So I'm good to move on.
Yeah, okay, so I have one more thing to mention, and this moves into the next chapter a bit because you get more information about them. But, so this chapter is very much the, okay, guys, you were in, Eagle River. You're in Eagle River. Eagle River kind of sucks and whatnot. Okay, there's bad things, some good things, whatever. And then it's like, bammo, y'all are in Anchorage and get fucked. So we sort of have a whole little rundown of the different areas in Anchorage is how it feels. Yeah, like
Yeah, I'm
we
sure many
see
many people out there can
we see some
relate to
like
that. Totally understand what you're talking about.
yeah. So we get to the Huffman area and all that when we're dealing with we're seeing through Shadow Stalker's perspective and even Fleshette with Shadow Stalker. Uh, yeah, the less drugs than Huffman, because we have like elementary school kids, buying crack rocks and all that from people at the Huffman McDonald's in the middle of broad daylight, and then you go sell that in other places. So that sort of side of things was missing, but the rest of it felt like around there. Yeah,
Yeah, don't get me started
especially
on that.
following
Archer's
through
Bridge
Shadow
is
Stalker and
basically,
everything, and Fleshette's attached. It's
yeah, Archer's Bridge is basically just Mountain
and
View. You know what
yeah, yeah. Oh man, Mountain View gets so fucking bad. Anyways, there's some nice things about Mountain View. There's a lot of things to like about it, but there's so much more to be like, oh God, what
I
the
mean?
fuck am I even doing here about it?
Yeah, yeah. Nah,
Fuck.
as far as I'm concerned,
Like,
the
dude,
nice
like,
thing about Mountain View can be
yeah,
counted
don't
on
go there.
one hand, on one finger, and
It's a no
it's
go.
a view of the mountain.
Yeah, there's some great barbecues and stuff too, but like there's so many things. There's so many people there, and there's so many awful ones. Oh my God. But yeah, there's some good, great people there. But again, it's so much easier just to be like, I stepped down the wrong alleyway, I dead. Or worse. I wish I would dead. It can get really bad there.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
imagine that choose your own adventure
And
book,
then
but
we get
almost
to
every page is
fucking,
you're dead.
uh,
Uh,
oh my God. And then we get
yeah,
down to like the Abbott area and whatnot when we get to the Slaughterhouse 9. Like that's like Abbott. That's like Abbott to Old Seward. That whole little area, like right where the start of Old Seward from Abbott in that direction. Because yeah, that's where you go and you're like, man, I want to get like a burger and some ice cream or whatnot. So you know where I'll go? I'll go to the I can't remember the name of it now. For some reason, it's popping on my head, and I'm trying to mention it. Not Denny's. It's the Dairy Queen. That's
Shake
it.
Shack.
I would go to the
Oh,
Dairy Queen, and then you see that there's like crucified cats on the way over to the Dairy Queen. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, and there's some people's figures on the ground underneath them. This is great.
hmm
I think I would go anywhere the fuck else. And the people who are doing that is Marty and Dave's crew, and if anyone on Earth is vampires, it's those guys, because they have looked exactly the goddamn same since my mom was young, okay? But even when I'm there, like, they had not changed a fucking day. Anyways, lots of crazy stories about those guys and everyone around them and the crazy shit they do. Um, Imagine if these Slaughterhouse 9 guys were also huge fucking like chimpanzee level dorks at the same time. And you probably understand what they're like. But that's that area and the people around there, and there's a lot more of them than just those two, but those two have been around for fucking ever and they're like that. And there's more of them there who are like that who've come and go. That's just that area. And it's awful. You cannot pay me to do anything but take the highway through there. Fuck that.
yeah. But I'm glad
Yeah.
we're including all this because yeah, it's gotta be relatable.
Gotta be, man.
By the
There's
way,
like
you
two
should know that.
people who were like, man, I'm gonna go to Anchorage. I think I want to go to a park by that area in Anchorage when I'm visiting Alaska. And I'm telling you, no. Don't you fucking do
Yeah.
it. Drive past that
If
highway and you go somewhere else. You go down out of Anchorage. You go to Little Miller's or something. Fuck that shit.
yeah, if you find yourself in Anchorage, downtown is nice. Um, like as long as you stick to like one of the big roads, you'll be mostly fine. And then if you're going to leave Anchorage, go all the way out of Anchorage and don't stop for a while until you're in the middle of nowhere, and then you're probably fine. Um, I hate That's the by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know that
However,
over
if you notice anyone behind a stop sign or anything of that nature, when you're driving around and whatnot, you drive faster. Okay? Fuck the speed limit. You go faster. Okay?
yeah. I
And
don't
that should
think I've
give you
seen a
most
cop
issues.
in this
You'll be
state
fine.
pull someone over for speeding unless they're going at least 15 over. I don't think it's happened. Um, don't stop. Yeah. Did you, by the way, over by like, in that
Oh,
direction,
don't
like
stop.
out towards the direction of like the Seward Highway? If you like go off on some of the side roads and climb that big fucking hill with no trees on it, there's a Shake Shack up there. Gotta be the worst Shake
Yeah,
Shack
there's a lot of
that's
cool
ever
little
been
places
built.
out there.
Like, as guys, I looked at that and went, "That's a
There's,
mimic." I,
yeah,
I'm not stopping
yeah,
here. Are
right.
you? You've got to be out of your goddamn mind.
Huh? Yeah. Oh well, dude. There's the what do you call them? There's a lot of mythological things in Alaska. It has more mythology than most states because it's bigger than most states and has more people of different kinds. So there's a lot of stuff. Things like Wendigo and whatnot. There are ones of them who build buildings that will devour you. So if it doesn't like a building should be there, and there's a building there, fucking move on. Okay?
Yeah, don't
Just
stop at that
move.
Shake.
Just go. There's reasons those myths happened. Don't know why.
Look, I've mentioned
Just go.
I've
Yeah.
mentioned that Shake Shack to I don't even know how many people, and everyone looks at me like I'm crazy. They're like, "What Shake Shack?" I'm like, "I swear to God, there's a fucking Shake Shack up
It's
there."
there.
Another one of them.
It's fucking there.
I used to go. I used to go to school. I mean, all right, we're getting a little sidetracked, but this is too funny. I
Oh yeah,
used to
we
go to
are. But it's
school.
worth it.
I mean, you ever listen to us? I mean, you're not here for focus. That's for damn sure. Um, I used to go to school in Eagle River.
That's a damn shit.
I went there for 1 year. When the middle college was still over there. And one time I was like walking through Eagle River with a couple of friends, and we were passing by the old like theater that had been shut down for like 10 years, and built onto the side of it was this little building, and we're looking at it, and it's got lights on and it's got stuff around it. We're like, what is that? It looks like a limpet on the side of this building. So we walk over there, and it's a sushi restaurant that's open for 3 hours a day, 4 days a week, and with a sign on the front that says "We serve fugu." It's like, under no circumstances. Restaurant. Are you what? You've got to be insane.
It sounds
to
like
do
you go
that.
there and your intestines are gonna be replaced by an alien entity or something. You're like, I don't know.
I'm like,
But
you're
some
gonna
of those
die.
places are really good. You know, the
I
only
don't
reason
give a-
I've
if
gone
they
to
have-
places like that though is because who was I with? Not sane people. So what the fuck,
That's
guys?
totally fair.
And
I just want to
and by the way,
don't
there's
order food.
There's- yeah, so much.
Don't do that.
Yeah. And I have another thing to say. Again, I have been pulled back into the boat by my native friends a few times. Because there are, if you go down some little rivers and stuff like that, a lot of them are gone now or much smaller, but they used to be a little more prominent. Going down the rivers and stuff, like that, every now and then you'll see a weirdly set up and like abandoned, like no one's there, rack with like salmon and stuff on it or other things like that. And they will say, hell no, you're gonna get eaten if you go to that. Fuck that you stay away from that. You go. No, that's no go. That will eat you. So, whether or not that structure is gonna eat you, which is the belief that they were under, or at least would state they were under, that like, you like staring at a mimic chest and you want to touch it. Don't do it. I know they don't look at things that are harmless as something harmful. They only look at things that are harmful as harmful. So whatever the fuck that thing is set up is, would lead to you being hurt or killed, don't fucking step off your boat and go like, oh man, there is so much salmon here. I'm gonna go eat it or whatever, or see who the person who was running this is. Like, here you guys, don't do it. Just fucking go on your boat and go. Fuck it. There's something about that is lethal. Stay away from it. I don't know what. I'll listen to them and say, yeah, it's some sort of weird mimic monster. Fuck that shit. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not gonna find out. No.
So yeah. Man, fuck. The Slaughterhouse 9, right?
Yeah. Slaughterhouse 9. Yeah. They show up. And again, this is now Anchorage. We are just in Anchorage. Now you guys understand what I mean when I say it's Anchorage. I'm like, this part, we're here.
Oh man.
If you've ever wondered why Fallen doesn't want to go to Anchorage, it's because that's Anchorage. There you go.
Honestly,
Nah.
I mean, not quite, but I mean, it's almost that bad. Yeah. I fucking hate that city.
Yeah.
I don't understand how anyone can live there. It's a nightmare. Ugh, God.
Well, I did it, and looking back after meeting normal people, and learning, I go, yeah, that makes no fucking sense. People shouldn't be there. Why haven't we just like bombed it or something? What the fuck? Yeah.
Oh man.
Now I understand that thought. Reservoir, I was like, that's just the way cities are.
Yeah.
Jesus.
God, because I think we met like right after you left Anchorage, right? Like that was like you guys moving away from Anchorage.
That's like a year or year and a half after, yeah. Like, it wasn't that long. We're still adapting to being out, and we're like, okay, now we can get work. We're settled in enough. Let's do it.
Gotcha. Okay, because I just remember hearing that we had got new people at the place that we worked, and that they were transferring from Anchorage.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like,
oh yeah, so it was not even a
escape?
full year. I had a few months, man. Look. Yeah, you did. Like, honestly.
It was my first thought. I'm like, oh, good. Oh, less meat for that grinder. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
So what are your yeah. So we get to see their approach here, the sort of warning signs that they're around. And I'm
Yeah.
not really sure how much information we get on them yet. I mean, obviously I know everything about them, but so why don't you go ahead and explain what the Slaughterhouse Nine are as far as you know up to this point?
What we get is that they're a conglomeration of serial killers, and they're definitely one of them leave their mark so you know that they're there. And they all got superpowers and stuff. They're all parahumans. They want to keep 9 there. So if someone feels like getting out or whatnot, they might kill them or whatever, and occasionally that stuff happens. For the most part, they're able to be a unified force, and they get back up to the number 9 if they lose any members. So we know that. And then with Dina talking about them, we know Jack McFuckenstein is going to hyper instigate the end of everyone's lives. Like, within a year, everybody will die because he's going to do that. He's going to instigate it somehow. Well, and if he's defeated or not part of the issue, a few more years are on the table. So,
right.
Yeah, we know that much about them.
Right. Yeah. So we get this sort of prophecy from Dinah, right? Because her whole shtick is seeing every future, and she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, if Jack Slash manages to escape, we've got like maybe a maximum of 2 years to live." Everyone's like, "Oh, he causes the apocalypse?" And she's like, "No, he just makes it happen faster." the apocalypse is coming regardless. It just might take up to 20 years if we manage to stop Jack from leaving. And that's when everyone kind of goes, sorry, what now? Huh? You want to run that one by us again? Yeah, there's an apocalypse coming where everybody dies, so that's cool. Do you think that might have implications as to, on the story as to the direction it goes?
Yeah, probably does. Yeah, if it doesn't, I will be shocked, genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Quill just goes, who gives a shit, and no one bothers with it, that would blow my mind.
That would be really funny, and I'd like to read that story too, because that's whatever. It's not like somebody else's problem. And then it just happens, and no one stops it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's funny. Yeah. So yeah, this is basically setting up the new direction that the story is going to be going. Obviously. Hopefully that was obvious.
Yeah. Well, man.
By the way, are we still talking? Are this still arc 9
finally
or arc 10
in chapter 10.
Okay.
We sort of blended both there because the Slaughterhouse 9 are mentioned in both. And Tim Medina's talking about it. I think her talking about them specifically is arc 10. People discovering that they exist is arc 9. So I think we're more ready to go into arc 10 proper now. Heyo Friendos, heyo, thank you for watching this video. This has been Parahumans/Worm 9. We went over the chapter, I think we did a good job. As you can tell, we're still in the middle of things, and we're gonna get in and finish on with chapter 10 in the next episode. This has been a lot of fun. It was really interesting, and I hope you guys have a lot to say about this one, because we did. And of course, a lot of things that we just sort of going over because it's so quick. It's such a quick chapter. There's so much going on. So please comment if there's anything else you want to add or touch on or have opinions about. Don't forget to like the video. Thank you so much for watching this podcast with us and hanging through. We enjoy having you here. Love you, friendos. I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo. Ciao, my noodles. Bye-bye. Have a good night, friendos. Have a very good night. Have a bye-bye. Toodaloo. Bye-bye.